Nigel Farage is one of the most important political figures of the 21st century. He is a big component of Brexit and the debate around immigration. And also, this is a man who in many ways has broken Britain. The population, the discourse, the morality of our place in the UK, and he has a lot to answer for in the coming decades because he isn't going away and we need to deal with him and what he represents, because there are real problems the UK faces: economic stagnation, inflation, housing crisis, healthcare crisis, climate change, many other issues that we need to tackle. But Farage is not the answer. Nothing he proposes will meaningfully tackle the problems facing us today. There's a deeper ideological view that needs to be challenged and changed. And this is a cyclical economic thing. In the late 70s, Thatcher and Reagan changed the economic paradigm. We, over the last 40 years or so, have experienced neoliberalism, the privatisation of life, the ideology that profit drives innovation and is an overall good thing, trickle-down economics, but reality shows a different picture. And we on the left maybe haven't presented our argument. Obviously we don't have the means of presenting these ideas in the same way that, the centre ground or the right do. Obviously people aren't exposed to the idea that actually it's not immigration the problem, it's the economic system, the fact that this notion of privatisation, people over profit, is not working anymore. Yes, it's created massive wealth for a small amount of people, but most people are not seeing that wealth. That's the real problem. And the inequality in the UK is absolutely wild, because it seems like we're the sixth richest country, but it's only because London makes so much money. Outside of London, it's a pretty deprived place, the UK, to live in. Apart from the cities, there's a lot of deprivation, and it's only got worse over the last 14 years. And he broke Britain because he's convinced enough people, especially Labour and Tories, and this is a big problem, is the fact that Labour have ceded to this argument and actually agree with Farage that we need to lower immigration. But it's not possible, because I guarantee the Tories wanted to do it over the last 14 years. They knew that it would be successful, and I'm sure they tried. But the reality is, over the last 4 years since Brexit, it has spiked. It's more, ironically, since we took back control and sovereignty, it's got worse. And there are complicated socio-political reasons that tie into that. For example, Afghanistan. We've taken a lot of people from Afghanistan since we pulled out and America pulled out. The Taliban have taken over, so you've got to take into account these complex geopolitical reasons. Ukraine, Iran, a lot of African countries, Eritrea, are seeing civil war, Sudan, a lot of crazy things going on in the world, and we don't look at the wider picture, or we're not told to, or we see immigration as just this thing of just people coming over and not really contributing. But the truth is that, on average, immigrants contribute more than they take out. They actually contribute more economically than the native citizens. They commit less crime. They're adding tax to the coffers. And the moral democratic view is that we do have the right in a world to live in another part of the world, to seek refuge from war, poverty, persecution, and make a better life. And I think that we have to kind of introduce a bit of empathy here, because imagine having to, if you were in Sudan or say Eritrea, or a military dictatorship where you can't be the person you want to be, and there's the opportunity to, maybe you've got a family in England, or you know that you can get a job in England. Why shouldn't you have that opportunity as a human? Like, think it as a human and yourself. If you were in that position, because empathy is putting yourself in someone else's position and understanding, actually, in that situation, I would want my fellow human to help me out. And we don't talk about that. Farage does not talk about the fact that we need empathy for other people. He wants to otherize these people. He doesn't even I don't think he thinks them as humans. He doesn't talk about immigration as a human thing. He just talks about it as like this simple problem that he's going to stop, he's going to freeze immigration, and everything's just going to get better. But this is not true. And he is getting away with just this kind of... He is a demagogue. He's like Trump. He just sells lies and he preys on fear. And that's not how you can do politics. We need to get beyond that, because we know where it leads. And it's never to a good place. We need to be honest and go, right, there are economic issues. And we need... Privatisation has not worked. It's made the rich richer and the poor poorer. How can we develop a better model where we challenge and look at the problems facing us in the coming decades? Climate change, AI, the fact that most jobs are going to be automated. We really need to be honest about how economic stagnation in the UK, because our GDP has stagnated for years, needs to really be looked at in terms of a wider view, because it's not immigration that is causing stagnation. We would be worse off without immigration. So comment below, how has he got away with it? How has he been so powerful and guided this toxic debate about how capitalism, since the economic crash, how simple solutions such as getting immigration is like kind of tapped into the public psyche? Because a poll, Sky recently did a poll where they said most people think immigration does not add a positive. Where is that coming from? Because it does. Objective reality, it does. Comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.